Redcraze was one of several New Zealand champions to take Australia by storm in the 1950s. The chestnut gelding by Red Mars from Myarian also had the blood of Epsom Derby winner Hyperion in his veins. Redcraze would be a late bloomer and go on to win the hearts of race fans in both New Zealand and Australia. The foal born in 1950 gave little indication of the mighty frame and recuperative powers that Redcraze would eventually develop under the care of Sid Brown. It put the Woodville trainer on the map and caused a major heartbreak. Redcraze was bred and owned by J.B. Bradley from Fielding, although he never got to see the horse race in the family colours after suffering a stroke. Responsibility went to his wife, who was to witness a burst of form in the 4-year-old season that finally showed the real potential. The Summer Cup, the Wanganui Cup, the Awapuni Gold Cup, the Nolan and Nicholson Handicaps, and the Ormond Gold Cup were all added to the trophy shelf in 1955. Redcraze had 11 wins from 23 starts that season and earned more than £12,000 in stakes. Brown set his sights on the Melbourne Spring Carnival, where the unknown Kiwi caused one of the biggest upsets of the season by beating Rising Fast in the Turnbull Stakes. Redcraze was set to do the same in the 1955 Melbourne Cup, until a race incident cost him any hope of victory, leaving Toporoa and Rising Fast to battle out line honours. Ironically, losing would set Redcraze on a track for champion status, and it cost Brown his best horse. Sydney trainer T.J. Smith was so impressed with Redcraze he tried to buy him. He failed, but managed to persuade Mrs. Bradley to allow him to take over training the horse in Australia. It was tough on Brown, but the results over the coming months vindicated the decision. Smith sent Redcraze north to Queensland to claim the O'Shea Stakes and the Brisbane Cup. Redcraze was well back in the field first time past the post in the Cup, as Yukon established a 10-length lead. It was a different story next time around, as jockey Arthur Ward ignited the afterburners to bring Redcraze home by a long neck. Further victories in Sydney set Mrs. Bradley well on the road to being the leading owner in the 1956-57 season, with stakes of £35,000. The 1956 Melbourne Spring Carnival beckoned, and wins in the Metropolitan Handicap and the Caulfield Stakes were the perfect build-up to the Caulfield Cup. The race would be his greatest triumph. On a heavy track, Redcraze was last with half a mile to run. Jockey Arthur Ward circled the field and also had to deal with a riderless horse before bringing the crowd of 60,000 spectators to their feet.
From high volume, here's Redcraze mowing him down on the outside with Evening Feel and Prince Delville finishing well. Soon after, Big Red races clear, and look at that crazy horse going straight as a gun barrel for the line. What keeps him going with hands and heels, and Redcraze sails over the wire, an easy winner from Evening Feel.
Veteran commentators regard the 50s as the most memorable decade of the Caulfield Cup and rank Redcraze's victory as one of the best. Redcraze returned to New Zealand for the summer to gather another set of Nolan and Nicholson handicaps. The autumn and winter produced another O'Shea and Hill Stakes double, along with other significant prizes, while Smith plotted another spring carnival. In 1957, everyone knew Big Red. In fact, he warranted his own pistol-carrying guard to ensure there were no attempts to nobble him. The 1957 Cox Plate was to be the final victory for Redcraze, as he could do no better than 8th in the 3rd Melbourne Cup campaign. Redcraze retired with a record of 32 wins from 84 starts. In many races, he carried the top weight, and often he swept to victory from the back of the field. His stakes of more than £71,000 was a record until the emergence of another New Zealand champion, Tulloch. Redcraze was a sad sight upon returning to New Zealand because of a punishing schedule and his popularity. So many fans wanted souvenirs of Big Red that he lost much of his tail. Some TLC saw Redcraze quickly revive and become the centre of attention at the Danny Virk A&P show in 1958. He was able to put on an exhibition gallop to leave New Zealanders with a lasting memory of a true champion. A fitting tribute comes from Arthur Ward, who rode Redcraze and fellow Hall of Famer Tulloch. Ward had 24 races on Redcraze for 14 wins and 7 places. And he always rated Big Red the best.